The story opens with Captain Mike Torres standing on the bridge of the UES Liberty, humanity's last remaining battleship. The massive alien fleet of the Hegemony Empire fills the view screen, thousands of ships stretching across space like a dark metal ocean. The aliens have given humanity 24 hours to surrender unconditionally or face total extinction. Admiral Lisa Park calls an emergency meeting with Earth's remaining military leaders. The Hegemony has already destroyed 12 human colonies and crushed 3 different alien species who dared to resist. Their technology is superior in every way. Shields that can deflect nuclear weapons, energy beams that can cut through planets, and ships the size of cities. The alien commander, Lord Vex, broadcasts his final message to Earth. His species has conquered 47 star systems. Humanity has 2 choices: become slaves in the Hegemony's empire, or be wiped from existence. The aliens expect humanity to beg for mercy, like all the others. But humanity has a secret. For the past 50 years, they have been building something the aliens never expected. Not weapons of war, but tools of escape. Deep beneath Earth's surface, hidden in asteroid belts and disguised as mining stations, humanity has constructed the largest evacuation fleet in galactic history. Captain Torres receives orders that shock him. Instead of preparing for a final battle, he is told to prepare for Operation Exodus. Every human ship, from massive colony vessels to tiny personal shuttles, will attempt to escape in different directions across the galaxy. The plan is simple: scatter so widely that the Hegemony cannot catch them all. The part ends with Torres looking at his crew: young pilot Jack Ryan, engineer Maria Santos, and communications officer David Kim. They all know this is not a retreat. This is humanity's desperate gamble for survival. The 24-hour deadline arrives. Lord Vex expects to receive humanity's surrender. Instead, he receives something that confuses him: complete silence from Earth. Suddenly, space around Earth erupts into chaos. Thousands of human ships burst from hidden locations, underground hangars, asteroid bases, and camouflaged space stations. The ships are not warships but transport vessels, colony ships and civilian craft loaded with people, supplies, and everything needed to rebuild civilization. The Hegemony fleet is caught completely off guard. They expected either surrender or a desperate last battle. They never imagined humanity would try to run. Lord Vex orders his ships to stop the fleeing humans, but there are too many ships going in too many directions. Captain Torres leads a group of civilian transports toward the edge of the solar system. His ship, the Liberty, is the only warship in his group, tasked with protecting hundreds of civilian vessels. The Hegemony ships pursue them, but the human ships have one advantage: they know exactly where they are going. The humans have spent decades mapping hidden routes through space, paths that avoid the main shipping lanes where Hegemony patrols operate. They use asteroid fields, nebulae, and the gravity wells of dead stars to hide their escape routes. Engineer Maria Santos works frantically to keep the Liberty's engines running at maximum power. The ship was never designed for this kind of sustained flight. Pilot Jack Ryan navigates through a dangerous asteroid field, using the rocks as cover from alien sensors. Some human ships don't make it. The Hegemony destroys several transports, but for every ship they catch, 10 more slip away into the darkness. The aliens realize they are facing something they have never encountered before: an entire species that refuses to fight or surrender, choosing instead to disappear. Lord Vex grows furious. His perfect conquest is turning into a chaotic mess. He orders his ships to pursue the humans, but his fleet is designed for overwhelming enemies in single battles, not chasing scattered refugees across the galaxy. The part ends with Torres and his group successfully jumping to hyperspace, leaving the solar system behind. Earth is now empty, and humanity has become a species of wanderers among the stars. 6 months have passed since the Great Escape. Humanity is scattered across the galaxy in small groups, constantly moving to avoid Hegemony patrols. Captain Torres and his convoy have established a temporary base in a remote star system, but they know they cannot stay long. The hegemony has declared humanity a pest species and has assigned special hunter fleets to track down and eliminate human refugees. Lord Vex has become obsessed with finding the humans, seeing their escape as a personal insult to his empire's power. Torres receives fragmentary communications from other human groups. Some have been found and destroyed, but others have successfully established hidden colonies on uncharted worlds. The humans are learning to survive in ways the hegemony never expected. Engineer Maria Santos has been working on modifications to their ships. She has developed new cloaking technology using salvaged alien parts and human ingenuity. The modifications are crude but effective. They can hide small ships from hegemony sensors for short periods. The convoy faces a crisis when they discover a hegemony patrol ship approaching their hiding spot. Communications Officer David Kim detects the alien ship's scanning patterns and realizes they have been found. The patrol ship is calling for reinforcements. Torres makes a difficult decision. Instead of running immediately, he orders the Liberty to attack the patrol ship before it can report their location. The human warship is outgunned, but Torres knows they must buy time for the civilian ships to escape. The battle is brief but intense. The Liberty's weapons cannot penetrate the alien ship's shields, but pilot Jack Ryan uses the ship's superior maneuverability to avoid the aliens' heavy weapons. Maria Santos overloads the Liberty's engines to give them extra speed. In a desperate move, Torres orders Ryan to ram the alien ship. The Liberty's armored hull crashes into the patrol vessel, disabling both ships. The human crew abandons their ship and escapes in life pods just before the Liberty explodes. The civilian ships rescue Torres and his crew, but they have lost their only warship. The convoy is now completely defenseless. Worse, the hegemony patrol ship managed to send a brief signal before it was destroyed. The aliens know humans are in this sector. Lord Vex receives the signal and realizes the humans are not just running randomly. They are organized and still fighting back. He begins to understand that humanity might be more dangerous as scattered refugees than they ever were as a unified species. The part ends with Torres and his people preparing to abandon their temporary base. They have received a coded message from another human group. There might be a safe haven, but it is on the far side of the galaxy. 1 year after the Great Escape, humanity has adapted to life as galactic refugees. Torres and his group have joined a larger human settlement on a planet called Haven, hidden in a nebula that interferes with hegemony sensors. The settlement is led by Colonel Amy Reed, a former Earth military officer who has organized the scattered human groups into an underground network. The humans have learned to live in the shadows of galactic civilization, trading with alien black market dealers and staying hidden from hegemony patrols. The humans have discovered something important. They are not the only species running from the hegemony. Several other alien races have been displaced by the Empire's expansion. Some of these species are willing to help humanity in exchange for human technical knowledge. Engineer Maria Santos has become the settlement's chief technology officer. She works with alien refugees to develop new technologies that combine human creativity with alien science. The humans are learning to turn their disadvantage into an advantage. They are becoming experts at hiding and survival. The settlement faces a new threat when they discover that the hegemony has been using human prisoners as bait to track down refugee groups. The aliens capture humans and then follow rescue attempts back to hidden bases. Several human settlements have been destroyed this way. Torres volunteers to lead a rescue mission to free human prisoners from a hegemony prison ship. The mission is extremely dangerous. The prison ship is heavily guarded and located in a system controlled by the hegemony, but Torres knows that leaving the prisoners behind is not an option. The rescue team uses a captured alien ship disguised as a trading vessel. Pilot Jack Ryan, now an expert at flying alien technology, navigates the ship through hegemony space. Communications Officer David Kim has learned to speak several alien languages and poses as a trader. The team infiltrates the prison ship and discovers something shocking. The human prisoners have been organizing their own resistance movement inside the ship. Led by Dr. Lisa Chen, a scientist from one of the destroyed colonies, the prisoners have gathered intelligence about hegemony operations. Dr. Chen reveals that the hegemony is not as powerful as they appear. The Empire is stretched thin across Too many systems, and they are facing rebellions from several conquered species. The humans' escape has inspired other species to resist hegemony rule. The rescue mission becomes a major operation when the team discovers that the prison ship contains not just human prisoners, but also rebels from a dozen different species. Torres makes the decision to free everyone, turning the rescue into a full prison break. The escape is chaotic but successful. The combined rebel forces overwhelm the ship's guards and escape in captured hegemony vessels. The prison break sends a message across the galaxy. The hegemony is not invincible. Lord Vex receives news of the prison break and realizes that humanity has become the catalyst for a galaxy-wide rebellion. The humans are not just surviving, they are inspiring others to fight back against the Empire. The part ends with Torres returning to Haven with the rescued prisoners and new alien allies. The human settlement is growing into something larger, a center of resistance against hegemony rule. 3 years after the Great Escape, humanity has evolved from scattered refugees into the backbone of a galactic resistance network. The hidden settlement of Haven has become a major base of operations, and similar human settlements exist throughout the galaxy. Captain Torres, now promoted to general, coordinates resistance activities across multiple star systems. The humans have proven that their greatest strength is not their technology or military power, but their ability to inspire and organize others. The resistance network includes dozens of alien species, all united by their hatred of hegemony rule. The humans serve as the network's communications specialists and strategists, using their talent for improvisation to coordinate complex operations across vast distances. Engineer Maria Santos has developed new technologies that allow the resistance to communicate across the galaxy without being detected by hegemony forces. The communication network uses a combination of human and alien technology, creating a system that is both sophisticated and nearly impossible to trace. The hegemony empire is facing the largest rebellion in its history. Lord Vex has been demoted for his failure to capture the human refugees, and the Empire has assigned new commanders to deal with the growing resistance. But the new commanders face the same problem. How do you defeat an enemy that refuses to fight conventional battles? The resistance launches a coordinated attack on hegemony supply lines across 50 star systems. The attacks are carefully planned to avoid civilian casualties while maximizing disruption to the Empire's military operations. The humans' experience as refugees has taught them how to strike at the Empire's weaknesses. Torres leads a special mission to rescue human prisoners from the hegemony's main prison world. The mission is personal. Among the prisoners is Admiral Lisa Park, who was captured during the initial invasion of Earth. The rescue mission becomes a symbol of humanity's determination to never abandon their own. The mission succeeds, but Torres and his team discover that Admiral Park has been working on her own plan from inside the prison. She has been gathering intelligence about the hegemony's central government and has identified the Empire's greatest weakness. The alien species that form the backbone of the hegemony's military are becoming increasingly unhappy with their rulers. The story reaches its climax when the Resistance launches Operation Freedom, a galaxy-wide uprising that targets hegemony installations on hundreds of worlds simultaneously. The humans coordinate the operation, but the fighting is done by all the species that have suffered under hegemony rule. The uprising succeeds beyond the Resistance's wildest hopes. The hegemony empire, faced with rebellions on multiple fronts, begins to collapse. Many hegemony worlds declare independence, and the Empire's military forces are stretched too thin to respond effectively. Lord Vex, desperate to salvage his career, launches a final attack on Haven. He believes that destroying the human settlement will end the rebellion. But when his fleet arrives, he finds that Haven is defended not just by humans, but by a coalition of alien species. The battle for Haven becomes the final confrontation between the old Empire and the new Galactic Alliance. The humans, who once ran from the hegemony's superior technology, now fight alongside allies who have learned to combine their strengths. The story ends with Torres standing on the bridge of a new ship, not a human vessel, but a ship built by the combined efforts of all the species in the Resistance network. The hegemony empire has fallen, and a new galactic alliance has taken its place, Humanity never surrendered, and they never stopped running. But in the end, their greatest victory was not in defeating their enemies, but in showing others that freedom was worth fighting for. The species that once demanded surrender from humanity now faces a galaxy united against tyranny. Torres looks out at the stars and knows that humanity's journey is far from over. But they are no longer refugees, running from a superior enemy. They are explorers and teachers helping to build a galaxy where no species will ever again have to choose between surrender and extinction. The final line reveals the true victory. The Empire demanded surrender. Humanity just said run, and in running, they taught the galaxy how to be free.